Okay, it's my turn. So, Denise Smith Ali. I'm a Nyunga woman from the southwest. And I was born in, my father's born in the Kanyang clan. And my mother was born in the Wilman. So I think I have family in the room here. And I'm a billier, I'm a river person, and I live mostly in my life, I've lived in a place called Boyack Brook on the Blackwood River. So this is my school. I went to primary school in Boyack Brook and I did all my secondary school there. And I remember at the primary school, Neil Armstrong just landed on the moon line. And that never left my mind, and I was in primary school. Wow. At the high school, I remember I was told I was dumb, and I was black, and I wasn't going to be anything in my life. And if you looked at the first cover of that story, I had a book on there. My life is about books, reading and writing. So, I don't know what that teacher said to me, because she must have spoken to the wrong person, like. Because I learned French and Italian, and I've never been to France and I haven't been to Italy. But they came to my country. So yes, I did need a bit of education in those languages. So my life today is about reviving my language. And that's where my journey started, about where do I go and what do I want to be. This is my hometown. We have the country in Western down there. You don't have to go over to Armidale, New South Wales, you can just go to Boyack Brook and see all the wonderful stuff that's going on down there. This is in my early days. When I was young and rich. I never had to worry because I was out having fun. So that's me. And that lady sitting on the other side is Carmen's mother. And yeah, I thought I'd just chuck that in because it's moving along now. I'm drooping. So through my journeys, I decided that I wanted to work with languages. I wanted to know something about my language. Because when my old grandmother, who was nearly 100 and most probably over 100, because she wasn't registered. And I was about 16, 17 and had to look after her. And Granny used to always say something in language, and I knew it was important, but I didn't know because we weren't allowed to learn language in school. We weren't allowed to talk about our language in school. So we just learned that, I just knew there was something going on with language and it was important. And it meant something to me. And it meant something about my Nyunga way. It really didn't have no relationship to learning Wadjala, but my granny actually wrote a word list back in the days of over 100 words of Nyunga, and I happened to find it. So I decided to go off to Bachelor Institute and learn about languages. And I went away, a long way away. That's the risk and the challenges that I had to choose to do, to find out where I fitted in this world, because I was told I was different. I was told that I couldn't learn my language. I was told that we didn't have a language. We never learned language in school. But I knew that I was different. I knew that my grandmother spoke something different. So when I went to the Northern Territory, I thought, oh, this is Murich, you know, a lot of black fellas up there. I actually had a crisis in my own identity as a black woman. I never really mixed with a lot of other people. My mother said, don't go up north, and you know, not allowed to go up there, that's Warra. And I was thinking, oh, well, if I go to the Northern Territory, I'm going to sit with a lot of other different people who speak different languages. I was gobsmacked. How beautiful that was. I was gobsmacked because these people wanted to love me because I was black. And I've never ever felt that before down here. So my self-esteem went sky high. I had elders coming saying, can you help us with our language? And I said, I have to speak to your elder. And they said, I am the boss and I'm the elder. And I said, all right, I'll help you, but I've got to do something for me first. This is my journey, you know. So, but I had a wonderful time doing that. And the ladies in the photo who's giving me my award, you know Jetta, that movie Jetta back in the days? That's her. They painted her to go black hair like, to make that movie, you know, Jetta. So she was the chairperson up there at that time and gave me my award. And so when I was told I was black, I was a woman, and I wasn't going to be anything, I thought, nah, that's not going to sit with me. I have to challenge myself. I sacrificed the loss of my older sisters who were my mothers, my older sisters who grew me up, who took me out of a mission and gave me a life in education. And every time I win an award, I give that to them because they gave me a life. They took me out of the mission when I was 1 year old. And when I go shopping with my older sister today, I say to her, when I went to Threadbow just recently and we went shopping, she said, oh, you should buy this, you should buy that, oh, this is lovely, and I'll buy you this and that. I said, you treat me like that little 1 year old girl again. But it's good to reflect back how far we've come. So, this is some of my work. I worked at a K3 school at Manguri, Sister Kate's, and all these children now are about in their 20s and have children, and 30s, so they're grown up now. And I used to tell them, you want to drive a motor car? What car you want? We want a red Commodore. I said, what? Why a red Commodore? Because that's a Nyunga car. And I said, Rana. I said, well, you better go and get your licence. You want to get your licence, you've got to learn to read and write. A lot of those kids came out and they were brilliant. A lot of them did go off to the mines and a lot of them do have their licence and got children, and a lot of them do know how to read and write and got their licence and stayed out of jail. Because I keep track on these kids. I keep track on what I have invested into their lives. And in this photo, like, see who's standing near me? Jermaine Jackson, Michael Jackson's brother. He hung around me for a month and all the niggas were saying, I was robbing him. I said, Jermaine, I think you better stay away from me because I don't know how you can live in that kind of life and that kind of world. And I met him at a church and I said, well, I didn't even know it was Jermaine, like, because he disguised himself that deadly. And once he walked up to my daughter outside, Diddy, and she was out there and she was spinning out, and I could see on the corner of my eye she was talking to this guy, and I thought, I better get out there in case she runs a mark light. And I went out and I said, oh, hello, and he goes, he said, oh, I'm Jermaine Jackson. And I looked and I thought, are you Michael Jackson's brother? He said, yeah. And I said, Diddy, do you know who you're talking to here? And she said, who, Michael? I said, Michael Jackson, this is the brother. Mum, she shouted. So he came to the school and we told all the children that Jermaine Jackson's here, bring your family in and meet Jermaine. And of course Michael Jordan's mother was in town at the same time, so they got the names mixed up. And and little Lucinda in the front, this little Yorgaria, he loved Lucinda. Well, I said, oh, look, I teased her wicked. She said, I don't like him. But what an awesome thing for someone so humbled and privileged. And he prayed to meet little black fellas, little children. And he came to Mangori and Chew. We had balloons out the front. By the time Bale pulled up in his motor car, the balloons went down. And he had 3 big black 4-wheel drives pulling up. And when he jumped out the car, he looked like the Jermaine I loved. Oh, I loved him! But I couldn't marry him. I would have got killed. Okay, and in that image over there, that's when I first started to teach and did my light training other than English. I first started to teach at that little school at Sister Kate's. And that's when my life boomed of, I want to grow with my language. That little spirit inside said, I want to know everything about my Noongar language. And I become confident. I felt those chains come off me of how I was treated in the mission and how I was treated by white people telling me I could not be anything. And that's when those chains broke and I become free. And that image up here, that's a recent one. Sitting at the university at UWA, tracking our Noongar language that had gone all the way to France and trying to find that and bring it back. This little black duck, they told me I couldn't be nothing. Next one. So further down the road, my niece had nominated me for the Australian of the Year and I didn't even know I got nominated. And then the mob in Canberra rang me and said, oh Denise, you've been chosen over 300 people for the local hero. And I said, why are they going to put local hero? Now, they're going to get killed over that name. So, true. Local hero, like. But I had an opportunity and I thought about it. I stand very strong for sovereignty. I stand very strong for my language that was taken away from our country. Do I accept this award on the behalf of Australians, or do I just let that slide? And then I thought, take the opportunity to put languages back out there. So I accepted the award, and then I went to Canberra and went over there and sat with Fred Cheney and all these other fellas. So this is the Australian one, but the guy, Fred won all that. But yeah, no, look, that was a good journey. We caught the bus from Canberra and went out to Government House, and of course the bus driver nearly smashed the bus up going out there. But yeah, no, I accepted that award for that. So moved on. So this is my family. I have 2 daughters, and these are my grandchildren down the bottom. And Justina is an artistic director, and Diddy is my baby, if you want to turn the next one, Bethia. And this is just a little thing I put up. My daughter Diddy passed away 3 years ago, and it says, there is no pain like a broken heart of a grieving mother. And I thought I would put that up because we're all mothers and we all have some part in our life that is going to be tough, that is going to break us. But how do we get over that? If I wasn't so immersed in my work, if I wasn't so immersed in my language, if I didn't have a dream of getting a PhD or something in my life to keep me going, I would be a mess. I dreamed to do my PhD, and I had an offer the other day, and another door opened. I set up the Indigenous Linguistic Alliances for all Indigenous, in all the Indigenous linguists in Australia. And I got offered to do my PhD SAP. I said, oh, hang on. Give me another 6 months to sort that out. But at the same time, we have to check ourselves all the time. I checked myself to see how far I've come out of Roland's mission. I went back to Roland's. I never been back there for a long time. But when I went back, I knew I had gotten through the net. I knew that Denise can be something if she wants to be it. And I knew that my life is going to another level. We as mothers, grandmothers, aunties, nieces, we all have challenges, and your little spirit inside knows where we should go and where we shouldn't go. My daughter, who passed away, was a very good friend of Lorraine's as a sister. So I visit Diddy a lot, but I do know now Diddy's in a better place, and that was just a part of my learning journey. Because where she's gone, I'm going to be gone. But if I wasn't so immersed in my language, I think, I don't know what I would be doing, quite frankly. But I'm sure there's other people in this room who would share the same kind of story, who would share that same kind of feeling and that same kind of mess we could be in. So I hope I haven't put a damper on your life tonight. But yeah, that's my story, and thank you, Lorraine, for your story. So we'll get back to the program now. I did that today, and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be running late again. So now we're going to go straight into karaoke.